Okay, good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, the day after Valentine's Day. I treated my baby. I got some nice messages from my lovely tribe and team. I love you all so much. So I'm super excited about this Zoom today because just I've got two women who are going to share with you today. And literally watching them come back to life and resurrect their business and get it going again has just like lit me back up. I mean, I was lit up. I had a simmering flame that hadn't gone up, but it's like when you find somebody with energy and fire, like go get them, go lock in because you're going to feel that heat. I know like some of you are so intentional. Like Lisa Tatum, like she's around me at events, like she's pulling in the heat and then she takes it home. I know her mindset is there. I know that's why she shows up places. It's deliberate because when you can feel yourself just kind of getting in that place, it's your job to go connect into that energy. That's why we have events every 90 days. You're the one who's got to step up and plug in. And I'm so proud of these two. And I don't want to talk much at all today because they're the stories of the last really 2-3 weeks and what they set out to do, what they had to do, what they committed to do. I know both of them have really had their backs up against a wall. And I don't want to steal any of their stories. So I've asked them both to share. The first one that I'm going to have share is Sunny Heflin from Virginia, Roanoke. And I love this woman. She came in with heart, passion, fire. Life took place. And, the story was what it was. Things needed to happen for her to come back in and go to the next level. And I don't know where your mindset is today. I don't know where your business is today. I don't know what life's challenges have gotten into your way. But what I know is that you need to hear and pay attention and listen to these two women. Because if it's not you, it may be somebody on your team that needs to hear their stories today. So I probably would have done it right if I just did a whole segment with each one of them, but I'm getting this recorded. And what I would ask is, Sunny, let's kind of watch the clock and give you about 10 minutes, and then Selena do the same. And let's be off of here by about 9:30, 9:35. So Sunny, I want to just start with you. And I just love if you could just tell your story, but then I want you to literally give the action steps that you're taking right now. Cause I'm literally mailing 10 days. She's connecting me daily and I'm mailing for her right now. So what that tells me is she's freaking hustling because she's got me sending 10 days. So where there's a will, there's a way. All right. And she's digging out right now and she's in, and I just want her to share exactly what she's doing. And Sunny, just a little bit of your story, but what you're doing going forward and where your passion and heart and fire is coming from right now.
Good. Hey there, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so many of you don't know my story. I will make that part very, very short as Abigail requested. First of all, I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be back. The same way that ketones woke me up and I saw things for real again. Life kind of clouded and I'm seeing things for real again. And so to have a family improve it, to have people that are really truly concerned with helping people with being better and moving everybody forward together is an incredible place for all of us to be sitting. And I'll be honest, I wasn't taking it for granted, but I could not see it last year for what it really was. Long story short, almost exactly 18 months ago, My mother passed away of diabetic ketoacidosis. I had my daughter. I have an 18-month-old daughter. I had my baby on the night of my mother's funeral. That set me into, first of all, a massive grieving process that I did not know what was hitting me, and I was in denial for a long time. But it set me into researching. I literally typed into Google about 2 weeks after my mother's death while nursing my infant, crying my eyeballs out, how do I not die of diabetic ketoacidosis? I had no idea what that was, nor what keto was, what ketosis was, nothing. So that's how I stumbled on what this is. And when I started discovering science and true fact, that's how I knew this is the real deal. There is no shaking it because I found it on my own. And so for me, it was just validated from the very beginning. So last year, Mom died in July of 2016. I jumped in and I drank my first drink of ketones March 2017, February 2017. I went to more early last year, and I was on fire. I was on fire. But here's the kicker. Here's what happened. I did not know that I was going to have more life come at me and send me into such a dark place and even my grief was clouding everything. Okay. And some of you might be there. You might have something that is clouding everything, and you have to get that thing off. You have to work through the pain, the frustration, the doubt, the unbelief. You have to work through that before you can really charge forward. I'm here to tell you, in living flesh, I would never be sitting here if I did not devote some intense work in getting the grief, the unbelief, the depression, the negative self-talk, all kinds of things, the negative energy off of me. So fast forward, I dropped off the scene for about 6 months. I hit MVP, GoPro. I was doing all these things. I had promoters. Abigail came to town. It was wonderful. But I still had a lot of unbelief of myself. And so if I can say one thing today is I've worked very, very hard at the belief of me, on the belief of I am capable. I do deserve. My family does deserve. This is what I want. These are all the things that I want: spiritual, mental, physical, houses, cars, places to live, vacations, whatever it be. I deserve those things. I didn't believe that before. You have to walk forward in that energy and just keep pushing off, not even push off the stuff. Because when you are so focused on the positive, the negative has no space to enter. And yes, life's going to happen. There are going to be bad days. But when you are so focused on the positive, the negative just doesn't have any place to dwell. And so I worked through a lot of my grief. I'm finally out of that season of life. Praise Jesus. But I really had to work on me first. And then this reboot came about, the MVP reset, all of these things were brewing, and I was still watching the community. And honestly, I was still doubting, is that for me? And then every time I dig back into the research, the independent research, there's no doubt that Prove It is where we are meant to be. There is no other company. We are not like any other product. We are moving forward at a rate like no other company based on pure scientific fact. And every time I dig into the research, I come back to that exact answer. And so it just kept building and building my belief on this new foundation that I didn't have any blockers. And so I am a born again Christian. I am a Jesus freak, really. So I do believe in the power of manifestation and forward thinking. Of course, I tie that to my energy source, which is God. I picked this book back up, The Power. It's the second or third book of The Secret. And I wanted to read you guys: a mighty, eternal, and incomprehensible force, which I believe is God, pushes us all forward. But while all are so being pushed, may linger and look back. unconsciously they oppose the force. I was consistently, constantly looking back or looking at what is right now. I was not looking forward. And so that's one of my faves, definitely one of my favorites. I've got it dog-eared all over the place. So we have to look forward, because even when we look in our reality, like if I were to turn my camera around right now, you'd be like, what the what? Like, this is a made-up office/classroom in my basement, and everything in front of me is unfinished, cluttered, a complete disaster. If I look at that, I'm going to get that. But if I believe and I know where I'm going, what I'm getting, and what I deserve, and the life that I want is there, then, and this brings me to my last little part, it gives me the strength, the power, the energy, and the willpower to do the things that I need to be doing. So here is what I found for me. I'm a mom of an 18-month-old and a 5-month-old. I'm incredibly busy, trying really hard to stay at home, work at home, and juggle. The baby's upstairs asleep right now. I work 2 other jobs. I had to find a system that worked for me. And there is no right system. I told Abigail what I found the other day and how I'm working it. And there is no right system. I can't say this is the right way, but for me, I found it. It clicked and it was done. There's this gal, I have no idea whose team she's on. Her name is Ashley Salvatore. Look her up on YouTube. Then go to her, she has a YouTube channel called Mini Mogul, MINIMOGULE, and it is freaking amazing. If you are looking for a fine-tuned system, and many of you, I'm just back into this, y'all. Many of you are probably already doing it. But what I found is the way that she mails, the way that she prints her labels, exactly what she puts in her packages. She even gives you a run day of her typical day as a stay-at-home mom and exactly what her day looks like. And I have just literally fine-tuned my day based off of her model, and I'm just doing the thing. I'm just doing the thing. She has amazing tips on how to create a YouTube presence. I know Abigail does a bunch of that. And I mean, behind the scenes tips of how to get your videos up and going. So I'm working on getting a YouTube presence. Her system is, for me and my life, like fine-tuned to the T. I write out my goals every single morning. So I would encourage you to do that. I have a grateful, thankful, and blessed list. And then I have, these are my goals. This is what I'm going to hit, and this is when I'm going to hit them. And I have them laid out for a year. And I rewrite it every morning. For me, that recommits me every single day to my goals. It refreshes me. For me, every single day is a new beginning. I'm like Abigail. I love the new month. I love a Monday. I have made every day my Monday. Every day I wake up, I got to do the thing. And because I have my energy focused forward and I know all of the things that I want, it gives me that extra push to do those little things, right? This business is very, very simple. Anybody could do it, but it's a lot of little things repetitively. And knowing what you're working for and having it written out and me rewriting it in my handwriting every morning gives me that power to do that. So that's just a little tidbit of what's happening with me. I will pass the baton off. I can't wait to hear Selena, and I'm so happy to be back in the community. Prove It truly is an amazing community. I look back on this last year, and I am so grateful, thankful, and blessed that God pulled me into this, and my mother's death pushed me here to discover what ketosis is and what ketones are. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sunny. Sunny, real quick, right before we move on to Selena, you said, I do the thing. I see you very active in connecting me in messages. Can you just quickly give us a glimpse of that thing and what your day looks like as far as the reach outs and the conversations? And I also know that your mixer planner, your face-to-face, you're combining the personal touch and the texting. So what's that look like for you?
Yeah, so I am, I've set a goal for myself, a minimum of 25 people to reach out to, because our goals are big. Y'all, spending 18 months in depression and grieving my mother and not working, we were broke. Like, it's time to get some action. So I've set a minimum goal of 25 new contacts a day. Now that's me right now, and I might keep that up forever. Who knows? Then I have all of the people that are getting 5 and 10 day experiences. Once they start getting results, they're tagging me on Facebook. And I have a gal who has been drinking ketones for probably 6 months now. She became a promoter yesterday because she's like, I don't want to do this. She owns a salon. She's a very, very busy girl. She's like, I'm just going to tag you and you can send me freebies, onesies every now and again. And I'm like, if that's what you want, girl, but that ain't what you should be doing. And so it took me 6 months of just meeting her where she was. She would do a post about once a month and I would get a few trickles here and there. But I wasn't working them the way that I should have. But on about 12 days ago, she made a post and I got 65 leads off of it. Y'all, it was my birthday the next morning. It was my 40th birthday the next day. Do you know where I was on my 40th birthday? In this chair. I looked at my husband and I said, this is it. I got 65 people. We are doing the thing. We can celebrate birthday another day. It just has to be. And it is the nature of this business. But I'm going to work and sacrifice during the times that it's not maybe convenient, but I'm going to do it to create freedom for my life later. So I'm following up with those contacts. I am making sure they get 5 and 10 days. We had a load of product sold out of it, like boom, gone. And like Abigail said, she's sending them. I'm following up with them. However, Ashley Salvatore, the gal I told you about on YouTube, she has an initial email and she literally gives you the template that she swears by. It makes it so much easier that we're not hand-holding quite so much, right? You're still getting great service, but you're not quite hand-holding as much. She really walks through how to prepare on the front end so that you know when they get their package, they know exactly what they're doing. Even goes so far into when I write my thank you note, I do not put the hacker's guide in there anymore. And I know this is different than what we're accustomed to, but you literally say, check your email. I have an email that has every single thing you need. It has a few links to a couple of YouTube videos. It has a link to the hacker's guide. The reason why you want to send them to that email is so that at the bottom, when they're ready to order, they have one email. They're not getting hit a million different times. People are completely overwhelmed, right? People are so tired of getting multiple messages, and we are tired of sending multiple until they finally respond. So this system for me is working really, really well. So I encourage you to look at her YouTube mini mogul channel, see if that system works for you. I've just started using the email, so I can't really speak to exactly how good it is because I just found it. I've just implemented it. And also Google Streak. Many of us, this is what I was doing, y'all. Lots and lots of, I've got pages and pages and pages. My daughters have drawn on some of them. I've got like 5 different notepads going. I can't do that anymore. It's making me crazy. There's a thing called Google Streak, which she also explains that I have set up. And Selena's nodding. You might use it too. I have to have something where I can move everybody digitally into their phase and done. And by using PayPal, you can also print off your labels by clicking ship all. Many of you probably already do this. Again, forgive me. I'm a newbie back here, but that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just fine tuning my process. It's no longer, hey, I'll take it when I get it. No, I'm making a plan. So when the next time I get 65 leads, I'm not sitting here for 12 hours on my birthday, although I'm happy that I did, right?
Awesome. That's great. Sunny, thank you so much. And just in the chat box, drop any resources you think are helpful. Thank you so much for sharing today. Awesome. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm trying to get ready for all these appointments today. But Selena, girl, share a little bit about where your business was at. And I've been calling her my beaver. She tells me what she's doing Like, she just hits me with activity. I simply put a little thumb up on it every day because she's just being seen. She wants somebody to know she's working her tail off right now. And I say, she comes up for air or to just give me her highlights, you know, like every day. She's like, sending through 10 days to the mail. Got this girl, she's drinking it, love it. Like, I know she is like a beaver working right now down in the hole, and she's working her butt off, and I can just see it, feel it. And she caught on to something that was amazing, and she was consistent and kept doing it. And this week it is imploding because of the work and consistency she showed up with. So Selena, will you now come on and just share a little bit about your story of the last 6 weeks?
Wow, where do I even start? Like you said, this beaver thing, I have so many sticks going on right now. So 6 weeks ago, I'm just gonna start. I had a health crisis going on that truly fueled my decision to really just get my butt in gear and start moving again. I had gotten to a place where I was really scared to take true action. I was scared and questioning if I was even doing what I was supposed to be doing. I felt like everything was crumbling, and I knew that in order to get my husband out of the job of where he was at and get him out of, you know, the emotions of where he was at, I had to start picking up the slack, and I started having to do what I knew to do. And I know it's people. I know that me talking, I know that it's me getting in front of people, locking arms, building a relationship. That's me. Like, that is my superpower that I have. And so I had actually joined almost a year ago, I joined a women's networking group. And that is where I have really, truly tapped into, honed in. I have just stepped in and surrounded myself by other women that are in this industry, whether it is a brick and mortar business, whether it is a network marketing business. And I truly realized the self-development, the level that I was at, what I had achieved, that most women haven't. And the power that I had to be able to connect with those women and, you know, give them, whether it was just the product that they needed or whether it was an opportunity that they were needing at that point in time. And so the last 6 weeks has been tapping into that market, really stepping up. Abigail went and joined me Monday, and I gotta tell you, I walked away with 53 leads, and I keep getting more messages. Like, we didn't even have time to talk to everybody, and I didn't get up there and say, hey, this is prove it. Like, I shared my energy, how I felt, and what has transitioned and changed in my life. It wasn't a product spiel that we did while we were there, but we connected and we lit. And that is one thing that, you know, whether you get somebody to an event, whether you get somebody on our private Facebook page, on a call, you know, around and a mixer, they are going to feel the energy of what we have as a community. That is our power as a community, is to set that pace of the energy that we have to share to other people. So I have been very intentional, as Sunny was saying, about following up with my customers, making sure my customers are number one, because hello, that is what, you know, has rippled this whole effect out with my business. So I have follow-up system, been really diligently working on creating a better one that is easier, more duplicatable than what I had before, actually using MailChimp on that now. I do use the streaks off and on, but I went back to paper, Sunny. I have my books for wherever I'm connecting with individuals. So I've got my Instagram one, I've got my Facebook one. I've been blowing up Instagram, learning how to get more and more attraction there. Got some pods going where we can communicate, we can comment on each other's posts. Like, there's a whole series of training that I can do on that later. But my networking groups, I've got different books that I am literally writing down where I'm at in the process for each one of those individuals, because the power of movement, the power of your business excelling, is finding other women that have that same vision, or men. Abigail knows I don't have very many men in my organization, but whoever wants to lock arms and just get fired up, finding those individuals, because this is a whole lot more fun when you find other people with lots of energy. So the other part, I've really been digging in for, like, Hong Kong, like being very intentional. My time, I have really time blocked it. If somebody's wanting to do calls and things, it's got to be worked around the Zooms. I have a conversation with somebody on a social media platform about ketones, or maybe it's just about health. I don't just go in for the kill. I'm like, hey, listen, how about we hop on a Zoom, or how about we hop on a Facebook with the video on there? I don't even know what that actually is called. That's what I say, a Facebook with the video on it, so that we can chat, we can find out more about each other. Like, get to know the people. once they hear that, I was closing, Abigail was saying, hey, listen, we're going to do a Zoom. And I'm like, I'm trying to get an order placed right now. I was on a Zoom getting an order placed, but she had heard, oh my gosh, I want energy. She goes, I don't even care about the fat loss aspect. It's the energy. Find out what people want. So that way, how to reach them. That way, what resources share. Sunny, you hit the nail right on the head. Don't send out 50,000 emails or videos saying, hey, this is what this can all do for you. Find out what they want. All they need to know is that it works. Share that one piece, share your story, somebody else's story, and get the order in. I am doing 10 days, but we had a lot that they were just ready to get started. So we're setting them up for success. We're making sure that we're engaged with them on that. But as far as the other piece to that is connecting Abigail. That was something that I had shied away from. If you don't have a buddy that you're using, if you're not using the other third-party, real, live validation, you're going to lose people in that too, because they hear only you and they don't hear, okay, there is somebody else that doesn't have a business tied to this, because people are still leery about that. We had a lady Monday that she's like, oh, this is one of those MLM things. But it went very smooth. Like, I was just very honest about it, and just addressed it, called the cat what it was, and we went on about it. And that lady actually said she's wanting a 10-day. So we're going to get her started on a 10-day. But being very directional with that. If I put Abigail in a messenger, I let her know what the outcome is. Maybe that person's not quite ready to be a promoter, but they would be an awesome promoter. Like, I'm going to give her that background. I'm going to let her know what those qualities are about that person. I'm going to give her the resources to know where to push and where to pull more information from there. If it's somebody who's hesitant about drinking it, I'm going to let her know that, so we can keep it short. We can keep it condensed. It doesn't turn into a nutritional education. And I think another thing has been just kind of shortening stuff down. I just want people to get started on the ketones. I don't want them to have to feel like they've got to do a 360 transition on their nutrition either. I let them know, hey, listen, let's get you on the 10-day, or let's get your order placed. And then you're going to get that education once you become a Smart Ship customer, because we have an awesome, platform for you to be able to learn from somebody who's been in the ketogenic space for 23 years. You're going to be poured into a community with trainers, with individuals that are going to be able to give you those resources. But right now, it's just getting the benefits of the ketones. So taking it back a step to where that focus on the nutrition is pulled off and the focus on just getting started is there. I've been very, very intentional, again, with getting people onto a Zoom. If I can't meet them in person, and Abigail knows I live in literally the middle of nowhere. So if I can't meet them in person, if they're in other states, putting them on a Zoom where you have more of a actual connection with them instead of that hiding behind the texting back and forth. Like, get them in front of you, let them hear you, let them see you, let them feel that energy. It's far different on a Zoom than reading on a text message. The other thing is just stepping up, and whether it's speaking at, maybe you're at an event, maybe you're at church. Like, if you have an opportunity to just speak and share who you are, that's an opportunity for you to connect with other people. So really stepping into who you are, stepping into letting people be intrigued about what do you do? I want to follow you. I want to know you. We added a lot of women on Facebook. When I am out in public, if I'm at Walmart or something, I'll add somebody on Facebook and just kind of, drip on them, go like their pages, comment on what they're posting. But being very intentional with just making sure that I have a way to continue to follow up and to continue to pour into those individuals. So I want to read you guys one of the mantras that I have that I read today, that it says, no one is me, and that is my superpower. And remember that each and every one of us are unique. The basis of sharing is all about sharing your story. Your story is what will inspire other people. If you're trying to tell, if you're trying to sell, it's never going to work. You'll have some transactions, but if you truly lead with the heart of your story and where you are, when I'm at a networking event, I talk about having my back against the wall. I talk about, ultimately, guys, if I don't get things go up and running and where they are, I will have to go back to nursing. I don't want to do that. I don't want my kids to miss out anymore on life. Like, I want to be able to help those 5 other families be able to break free from the same way that I did. I want them to be able to have more. I want to empower them to be able to have more. And the only way to do that is by sharing. And that's not 5 a day. Abigail gets lists. I'm like, I sent 40 just this morning. Like, literally getting the contacts out there. As many contacts as what your goal is you have set for yourself. And I have a high goal right now, and you have to have those goals written down. If you don't have the goals written down, that's like hopping into your car, starting it, saying, hey, I'm going to drive to blah, 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 Florida, and having never drove there. You have no direction on where you are going. You have to know where you are going, and breaking that down. When we got done at Epic, I sat in the airport and I'm like, this is how many new promoters I need to bring in. I need to bring them to MVP. If I get them, then if I end up developing All-Star, this is how much volume I'm going to have, and this is where I'm going to end up reaching my goal. So being very clear cut and concise on what you're wanting. When I first got started, every single day I wrote down on my little bitty sticky note what volume I needed to end that day with. I challenge you guys to do that. Right now, it's not just the MVP reset. I'm going for 3,000 plus this month, just myself in new volume. And I know it's completely doable. I did almost 10,000 my very first month with one flavor, and I hadn't even drank it half that month. So, you know, whatever you put your mind to is where you're going to go, and that's what you're going to reap. And God will have your back. The universe will have your back if you stay focused on what you're focused on. Don't think it's going to always be easy. You're going to have times where the husband or your friends are not going to be supportive. They're going to give you a little bit of disturbance, but use that as that challenge to say, you know what? As Brian Underwood says, to be expected. Like, this is just another hurdle to push through. And you know what? Every time that you do that, you're setting that example for your kids that you're not one to give up. You're teaching them, don't give up. Go through those hurdles. Keep pushing for what you want. The other women, the other, individuals that are just watching on your Facebook page, let them know that you have flaws. Let them know you have challenges. That's where you're going to connect, and then they're going to start reaching out. I've had more people reach out because of my vulnerability that I have shown than I have over the last 2 years. The more that I've opened up, the more that have connected, the more that have seen, hey, that's real, and they've reached out.
Awesome, Selena. Thank you so much. I got just a few questions. How many hours or how many times have you driven to Wichita or Tulsa in the last 6 weeks?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Probably 6 or 8. I'd have to look at my calendar, and I've got
6 or 8. Okay. How many hours away is that from where you live?
2.5 hours every time I go down to Tulsa, and then 2 hours and 15 minutes to Wichita. If I drive to Kansas City, it's another hour and a half, and I've been up there multiple times too.
So Kansas City, Wichita, Tulsa, all over 2 hours, all in the last 6 to 8 weeks. I want some of you to ask yourselves, when's the last time you drove over an hour to build a business that you wanted to triple your income and get out of your job with? So I just don't think people understand sometimes that sometimes we have to get uncomfortable. I was reading yesterday and the mindset, some people think that this is just all glamour and all good days and never hard. I get paid more than a CEO, Fortune 500 person. I do. And I think to myself, people, and I've heard people, at this income level complain about, maybe driving an hour or getting on a couple calls or answering questions. And I'm like, you get paid more than somebody who works 60 hours a week over an entire organization. Like, come on. This industry is crazy. This job is nuts where it can take you. But don't think that people are just sitting behind their phone texting to make stuff happen. Like, that's not what it looks like. Selena showed up consistently with this group. Selena, did you get all these hits from your first, second, or third meeting showing up with these women?
No. Some of them literally for the last year, it's been the, oh my, ketones kind of conversation. Like they love my spirit, they love the business, but seeing it in a different environment, it was that 5 to 7 exposures. Like people really have to be exposed to something and they really have to feel. And, you know, Monday was
Selena, I want to make mention too, you didn't bring me into that market till just this week as your third party credibility. So guys, what she did was she primed it. She got it ready. She owned it. I get some people who come on, they're like, my business isn't growing. I'm like, well, show me what you're doing. Show me what's been going on. I can't work it for you, but I can come support you. And what I did was I drove an hour and a half to see Selena. She took my butt the rest of the way, another 2.5 hours. And she set up the booth all on her own. She already knew half the room in there from showing up over the past year. And all she did was she used me like a little, like she just damned me. Directional awareness marketing. All she did was just introduce me to these people she's already had conversations with. And I just came in and whop, whop, because she had them all primed. And I was nothing. It wasn't me. I was just her third party. And she got it ready for me. She got it primed. It's like also like events, you know, people want me to come do an event. I'm leaving my family. I'm paying for plane tickets. And if you want somebody to come into your town and do an event, you better be busting your tail to get it up and running. It may start with a mixer with 2 people at your kitchen table. That's how it's got to start. And then that one person goes and has a mixer the next week with 4 people. And then you're like April Fallon, Lafayette, where you go from 3 people to 60 in a matter of 6 weeks because you decided to show up every Tuesday night at a restaurant and do a mixer that people could bring back people to bring back people to bring back people. I am going for the first time to Lafayette. They've been doing this now for about, I think, 13 weeks straight on Tuesday nights. They've got it primed. They went, it's like April just took my chin and went, hello, look at me. And I have to come. I got to get on a plane and I got to go out there because they have got it ready for me to just be a third party. And it's not about me. It's about you've got to take responsibility for your business. And for Selena, she lived out in the middle of nowhere. She really does. And it meant that she was going to get in her car and drive 2.5 hours this way, 2.5 hours this way. She was going to go get in a huge group of people because she needed new contacts. And she was going to start working relationships consistently, not showing up on one time and hoping that she got hit with some orders. She kept going back, kept making friends, kept showing her life, kept getting them on Facebook, kept showing up to her Facebook, kept showing up and serving. She knew these women's names. She knew about their family. She knew about their businesses. And it was like, after a year, it's like, okay, now she can't keep up with the orders from that one thing. You know, I got home, I got home at
2 o'clock.
Yeah, I got to bed at 3 a.m. that night. I'm not complaining. Some people work 60 hours a week with a boss and no, I love this. I love this job and I love working hard with people working hard. If you need this, if you want this, I want you to own your business. And I want you to get committed and get a game plan and get some passion. You got to just go to work and it's worth it and it's fun and it will change lives and help you achieve dreams. So with that being said, I got to get to Orange Theory to get my workout in today. Thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing your stories. I'm excited about your fire, and I think we can all who got to listen to this really appreciate and just kind of drip the heat on us. So thank you girls very much. Thanks for everyone to get on the team today. Go crush it.